Hey guys, it's Tah. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. Thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate ya. So for today, I have a small book haul from the Dollar Tree and one book from the Dollar General. There are 8 books total, so not a whole lot, but I did find some interesting things. I'll do the Dollar General one first. This one is called The Date by Louise Jensen. And this one says, her Saturday night started normally. Recently separated from her husband, Allie has been persuaded by her friends to go on a date with a new man. She is ready, she is nervous, she is excited. She is about to take a step into her new future. By Sunday morning, Allie's life is unrecognizable. She wakes and she knows that something is wrong. She is home, she is alone, she is hurt, and she still has no memory of what happened to her. Worse still, when she looks in the mirror, Allie doesn't recognize the face staring back at her. She can't recognize her friends and family, and she can't recognize the person who is trying to destroy her. So I thought that sounded so good. And for $2, why not? So all the rest of these, obviously, were $1 from the Dollar Tree. All right, this one I grabbed specifically because it was signed. So this one is called Metrophage, I believe is how you say it, by Richard Cadre. The cover it kind of stuck out for me as well. And then, of course, I seen it was signed. There's the signature, and this one says, welcome to our future, LA in the late 21st century, a segregated city of haves and have-nots, where morality is dead and technology rules. Here, a small wealthy group secludes themselves in gilded cages. Beyond their high security compounds, far from their pretty comforts, lies a lawless wasteland where the angry masses battle hunger, rampant disease, and their own despair in order to survive. Johnny was born into the Hobbesian paradise, a streetwise hustler who deals drugs on the black market, narcotics that heal the body and cool the mind. He looks out for nobody but himself until a terrifying plague sweeps through LA, wrecking death and panic, and no one, not even a clever operator like Johnny, is safe. So it kind of gives you what we're going through right now, I guess. The fact that there's some type of plague or a virus or whatever going around. When was this? 1988 copyright, and then again in 2014. This is an old one, but it kind of describes the same thing. And then this one I thought was so pretty. Look how pretty that cover is. And it's that smooth feeling cover, and it's called Natalie Tan's Book of Luck and Fortune by Roselle Lim. At the news of her mother's death, Natalie Tan returns home. The two women hadn't spoken since Natalie left in anger 7 years ago when her mother refused to support her chosen career as a chef. Natalie is shocked to discover the vibrant neighborhood of San Francisco's Chinatown that she remembers from her childhood is fading. With businesses failing and families moving out, she's even more surprised to learn that she has inherited her grandmother's restaurant. The neighborhood seer reads the restaurant's fortune in the leaves. Natalie must cook 3 recipes from her grandmother's cookbook to aid her struggling neighbors before the restaurant will succeed. Unfortunately, Natalie has no desire to help them try to turn things around. She resents the local shopkeepers for leaving her alone to take care of her agoraphobic mother when she was growing up. But with the support of a surprising new friend and a budding romance, Natalie starts to realize that maybe her neighbors really have been there for her all along. Next one is called Read Me by Leo Benedictus. And this one, it says, read me, try it yourself. Go out, pick somebody and watch them. Take your phone and a notebook. Persist what begins as a confluence of yours and another person's journey on the train, maybe, or leaving a cinema gets into an entanglement. You follow, feeling that it's not really following because you're going the same way. Then when they at least reach their office, you feel the clutch of a goodbye. It's normal, but how many times do you think the person being followed has been you? Read Me is a seductive, haunting novel that holds a sinister mirror up to the ways in which we observe, judge, and influence people. Benedictus' prose commands and draws readers into the dark, manipulative mind of a serial stalker as he targets different women, or subjects as he calls them, escalating his efforts until he settles on Frances, a bright young professional whose career is set to take off, and whose life he proceeds to unravel from the inside out. A chilling rumination on power, manipulation, complicity, and anonymity, Read Me reveals just how vulnerable we are to the whims of others, people we may not even know. Interesting. This one has a good flop to it. It is called The Babysitter by Cheryl Brown. Or Brownie, I don't know. Mark and Melissa Kane are thrilled to have found Jade, a babysitter who is brilliant with their young children. Having seen her own house burned to the ground, Jade needs them as much as they need her. Moving Jade into the family home can only be a good thing, can't it? As Mark works long hours as a police officer and Melissa struggles with running a business, the family becomes ever more reliant on their babysitter, who is just too happy to help. And as Melissa begins to slip into the depression, it's Jade who is left picking up the pieces. But Mark soon notices that things aren't quite as they seem. Things at home feel wrong, and as Mark begins to investigate their seemingly perfect sitter, what he discovers shocks him to the core. He's met Jade before, and now he suspects he might know what she wants. Mark is in a race against time to protect his family, but what will he find as he goes back to his home? So who is the babysitter? What does Mark know about her? This one is called Sam and Islas Last Hurrah. I'm not sure exactly the name. By Rachel Cohen and David Levithan. And this one is about twins Sam and Isa. They have a tradition of throwing awesome, ridiculous dinner parties for their friends at their grandmother's posh apartment. And now they've prepared for their final blowout just before graduation. The rules are simple. Each twin gets to invite 3 guests, and the other twin doesn't know who's coming to the partiers show up at the door. The sibling rivalry often trumps sibling revelry, and tonight's guest list has it all. Bitter exes, mysterious strangers, and a best frenemy from upstairs. One night, one apartment, 8 people. What could possibly go wrong? A lot of things. So many things can go wrong. And then All of This Is True by Ligia de Pinaflor. Not 100%. Sorry if I butchered. And this one is, let's see. Mary Tan loved Undertow like it was more than a book, like it was a living being. So when she and her friends went to a book signing to meet the author Fatima Moreau, they had a plan for how to get close to her, even if Mary's friends won't admit it now after everything that's happened. As for Jonah, well, Mary knows none of that was Fatima's fault. Soliel Johnston wanted to be a writer herself one day. When she and her friends started hanging around with her favorite author, Fatima Moreau, she couldn't believe her luck, especially when Jonah Nichols started coming along with them. Now looking back, she can't believe she let her manipulate her and Jonah like that. She can't believe she got used for a book. Penny Panzarella was more than the materialistic party girl everyone at the Graham School thought she was, and she was willing to share all her secrets with Fatima Moreau to prove it. If only she'd known what would happen when Fatima found out about Jonah. If only she'd known the line between fiction and truth was more complicated than any of them imagined. In the page-turning novel, interviews, journal entries, and even a book within a book all come together to tell the story of 3 girls who are shocked to find themselves cast in their favorite YA novelist's new book, with devastating consequences. So I absolutely love the idea of a book within a book. So why not have our main characters of this book star in a book within the book by one of their favorite authors. What could go wrong there? And the last book is called The Smiling Man by Joseph Knox. And this one, Aiden Waits is back on the night shift. The force is dumping ground for those too screwed up for more glamorous work. But the monotony of petty crimes and lonesome nights is shattered when he and his partner are called to investigate a break-in at the Palace, an immense empty hotel in the center of the city. There they find the body of a man. He is dead. The tags have been cut from his clothes, his teeth have been filed down, and even his fingertips have been replaced, and he is smiling. But as Watts begins to unravel the mystery of a smiling man, he becomes a target. Someone wants very badly to make this case disappear, and their threat escalates. Aiden realizes that the answers may lie not only with the wealthy families and organized criminals connected to the palace, but also with a far greater evil from his own past. So I thought that sounded very intriguing as well. So I absolutely love getting books from the Dollar Tree because it's $1. If you don't like it, it's just $1. And then you can use them to swap out at free little libraries or donate wherever. So yeah, I was super excited to find these. They did have a few other ones, but they weren't really my cup of tea. And they also had some graphic novels, but they were like number 4 and 5 in a series. So I didn't want to go ahead and get those because who knows how much those other ones, and even if I would enjoy them. So I just passed on those. Do you enjoy getting books at the Dollar Tree? Have you found any good winners there? Let me know. Did you read any of these? Did you like them? Did you not? Let's talk about it. See you guys next time. Bye, y'all.